Cheesy the Podcast, presented by Just Cheesy Productions.
Hi there, I'm your host Fondue.
And I'm Cheesy.
In this week's episode, we're talking all about throwing cheese.
Why, people?
We're going to learn about a sport in Italy.
Ooh.
We're going to talk about cadets.
Whoa.
Pink, clay,
Okay.
baseball, babies, pets,
What?
and crime.
Oh no.
We're also going to find out about a new political cheese statue.
Wow.
And of course, no episode would be complete without our very cheesy joke.
Yeah, joke.
Stay tuned for episode 140, Thrown, on Just Cheesy, the podcast. The website known as mulberrytree.com talks about an Italian competition of cheese rolling.
Whoa.
This is considered an ancient game and it's played in the streets of Italy.
Whoa.
The members of a team toss a wheel of cheese down a course.
Okay.
They originally used aged pecorino cheese made from sheep's milk.
Yum.
And according to this website, in the October 2023 competition, one of the spectators said that they thought it reminded them of golf.
Oh.
And the author also says that this is a very serious sport.
Yeah.
It's actually regulated by the European Traditional Sports and Game Association.
Whoa.
And during that October competition, there were 50 teams throughout Italy that filled the village.
Holy cow.
And according to EuroWeeklyNews.com, this game called Ruzzoloni was a traditional sport of ancient origins.
Whoa.
It was practiced by the ancient Etruscans. We're going to insert our butchered name here, but
Oh, boy.
the tomb of the Olympian, Tarquinia,
Oh, boy.
it depicts the throwing of a wheel of cheese.
Really?
The article goes on to say that today the game is also played with a wooden wheel,
Ooh.
but the same rules apply. A long strap is wrapped around a wheel of cheese or a wooden wheel.
Okay.
It says here the player takes a run-up, hurls the cheese along the road, and they give the strap an extra whiplash motion at the end to really make it fly.
Whoa.
Apparently, the rules are simple. Everybody uses a rizzola, a wooden cylinder or a cheese wheel, and a string to wrap around it and throw it.
Okay.
The goal is to cover the course with the fewest possible throws.
Sure.
There's no set number of players. Everybody can play individually or in teams.
Nice.
So the player wraps the string around the rizzolo. They throw it by holding one end of the string and give it a fast spin.
Okay.
The game is played along rural roads or treppi. The roads usually have obstacles or poles making curves or boundaries.
Okay.
If a player's throw goes off the designated path beyond the poles, they have to return to the course and re-enter, and they lose valuable throws.
Oh.
The player or team currently at a disadvantage always takes the next throw.
Okay.
And of course, the winner is the person that reaches the end of the course in the fewest total throws.
Wow.
And if you had cheese as the wheel, you might actually take that home as the prize.
Ooh.
Gambling was a big part of this game.
Oh.
Back in the 17th century, Signor Baracani lost his entire family's possessions while playing this game.
Whoa.
Unbelievably, this included a castle,
Holy cow.
all because of one throw of a wheel of cheese.
Whoa.
Of course, after that, gambling on the game was stopped.
Yeah.
And there have also been attempts to ban it because of the inherent danger of a 5-kilogram
Oh, no.
or a little over 11 pounds of cheese.
Ooh.
Getting hit with 11-pound wheel of cheese going pretty fast would actually hurt.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting hurt by cheese, we're not going to be talking about the cheese rolling contest, whereby participants throw themselves down a big, giant hill to basically race the wheel of cheese to the bottom. We've talked about it before.
Yeah.
But we do have in our show notes
Yeah.
a video from the slow-mo guys who actually caught it
Yep.
in this year's competition.
Yeah.
It's definitely a sight to see.
It really is.
According to ServiceAcademyForums.com, cadets of the Air Force Academy actually throw cheese during football games.
Ooh.
According to the forum, there was something called wing tailgates. A place called Mitch's would put on a tailgate of burgers before the games. It got canceled back in the 1980s.
Okay.
But apparently the idea of what they call spirit cheese was born of a combination of these tailgates and leftover cheese of the cheeseburgers.
Wow.
People would save the slices of processed cheese from the tailgate, and at the next football game, they'd let the slices of cheese fly after a big play.
Ooh.
And here they said the spirit cheese was actually responsible for injuring a waiter in Mitch's.
Oh, no.
And that the cadets did without cheese on their burgers for a year.
Whoa.
It also says here it's been banned from being thrown, so we don't know if this tradition is actually still around. It'd be great if anybody wanted to let us know if this is still a thing.
Yeah.
We covered this next one when we talked about celebrities and cheese, but people throw strange things at celebrities.
Yeah, they do.
According to BuzzFeed.com, a fan gave Pink a huge wheel of brie.
Oh no, did they throw it?
Thankfully, they just handed it up and didn't throw it at her.
Oh, good.
It would have knocked her out.
Yeah.
On a website called theawesomer.com, they talked about throwing cream cheese instead of clay on a potter's wheel.
Whoa.
Mud Ceramics Studio wanted to use cream cheese to find out if you could throw it like clay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we could have answered that question, right, Cheesy?
Yep.
If you go to some of our early videos, you can see Cheesy and some stop-motion videos.
Yeah, that's me.
We can definitely confirm that you can use cream cheese as clay.
Yeah, you can.
We can also confirm that you can use it as paint, but that's not what this article was about. So
Right.
the gentleman actually used it on his wheel, and he was able to work it into a vase and a bowl.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, then he was able to eat it.
Yum.
The makers of cream cheese are not sponsors.
Nope.
But when they are, the ad will go right here. Have you ever wanted to listen to the web?
Yeah,
Well, Newsly makes that possible.
they do.
They're an all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android.
Super app.
You can listen to trending articles on the web on topics that you choose and get them read to you in a natural human voice.
What kind of topics?
Sports,
Cheese?
tech, business, science.
Cheese?
I'm sure there's even cheese.
Yay!
They even have an entire section for podcasts.
Are we there?
Of course we are.
Ooh.
It's one of my new favorite podcast apps. They even have digital radio.
Holy cow.
Just go to www.newsly.me to download it free.
Whoa.
Or use the link in the description. If you use the promo code CHEESY,
Cheesy.
that'll get you 1 month free premium subscription.
Yay, Newsly.
Now, back to the podcast. Did you know that there's a baseball term called throwing cheddar or throwing cheese?
Yeah.
According to DutchBaseballHangout.blog, there is a slang term for a fastball. Cheese is a fastball with something extra on it.
Ooh.
If you're throwing cheddar, you're throwing it very hard.
Oh.
High cheese is a fastball high in the strike zone.
Okay.
Easy cheese is a fastball thrown with an apparent effortless delivery.
Ooh.
A cheese factory is a pitcher who can throw a variety of pitches.
Nice.
And now we've got to get into some strange territory.
Yeah.
According to news.syr.edu, people are throwing cheese at babies.
What? Why?
The trend had people throwing a slice of cheese at their infant children.
Oh, no.
The article claims that we automatically pay attention to children. That says here that if someone throws a slice of cheese at a child, it startles a laugh out of us even if we disapprove. It's hard to look away.
Oh, no.
The trend may have started back in 2015. According to BusinessInsider.com, there was an influencer who threw a slice of cheese at Terry Crews
Whoa.
and said he'll be bald forever, and naturally that went viral.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't think it's good to throw cheese at your baby or friends, perhaps you want to throw it on your dog or your cat.
Why?
Although I'm not sure that the dog would mind because they probably get to eat the cheese.
Yeah.
And if you think that throwing cheese is new, well, it's really not.
Really?
According to books.google.com, there's a book called Eradicating the Devil's Minions, Anabaptists and Witches in Reformation Europe.
Whoa.
According to the book, a charismatic prophet in 1532
Whoa.
claimed to have powers to turn water into wine, heal the sick, and resurrect the dead,
Sure.
and defended himself by throwing cheese at opponents.
Whoa.
The police have been called several times for people doing disturbing things with cheese.
Oh, man.
According to boingboing.net, back in 2017 at a 7-Eleven in Melbourne, Florida,
Oh,
a
no.
customer was told not to open the nacho cheese dispenser to scoop out the cheese.
Oh, no.
And the customer was told that she must pump the cheese out.
Yeah.
The clerk refused service based on the actions of the customer, which would compromise health standards.
Ew.
But the customer wasn't having it.
Oh.
The customer threw hot nacho cheese as well as a sandwich at the employee,
Oh, no.
and the police were called.
Of course.
The customer tried to justify her actions,
Oh.
saying that the customer is always right.
What?
Not so in this case.
Yeah.
The customer was arrested and charged with battery.
Nice.
According to Facebook.com, back in 2016, a Frenchman was accused of throwing cheese at a Waitrose staff member.
Oh, no.
And then they used the cart as a battering ram during a shoplifting spree.
Holy cow.
And just this year in July, according to NBCChicago.com, the police in Eau Claire, Wisconsin were searching for an assailant accused of chasing a driver and throwing cheese at their vehicle.
Oh, no.
It's time for my favorite segment.
This week in cheese.
According to JSOnline.com, The Brewhouse Inn and Suites debuted a sculpture Tuesday night for a party of delegates at the Republican National Convention.
Whoa.
The hand-carved sculpture was a, they quote, special surprise for party attendees.
Oh boy.
The cheese is a replica of Donald Trump's head in front of a cheese-shaped outline of the state.
Whoa.
And it has the cheesy letters reading RNC 2024. And it's topped off with star-shaped cheese cubes.
I'm ready for a joke, Fondue.
Okay. What did the wheel of cheese say after being thrown at a party?
No idea.
That's just how I roll.
Oh, that was bad.
Oh, yeah, it was very bad
Yeah.
and a little bit cheesy. Thanks for listening to Just Cheesy the Podcast, episode 140, Thrown.
Thank you.
We want to take this opportunity to remind everybody out there that you really shouldn't throw cheese.
Yeah.
That it's meant to be eaten.
And stay cheesy, everybody.